Well, I know right now they're collecting signatures to get it on the ballot for November. The California State Parks Pass, where you would pay $18 surcharge for vehicle registration, and that could bring in 500 million. So do you think that would be better than drilling off our coast, the end of the oil age, peak oil? So, I mean, we're going to run out.
Right.
But
First of all, on the issue of peak oil, so I spent a lot of my time looking at peak oil. I think there's no doubt, and there's a different range of when we will hit peak oil, but I don't think any of the industry folks all the way through academics looking at when we reached peak, which basically means, and when you look at peak oil, the drop-off is pretty precipitous on the other side of the peak. So it's going to be harder and more expensive to find oil. Oil is now at $80 a barrel still. It's expensive. What EPA and primarily the Department of Energy have been tasked to do at the agency level is really come out with transition pathways away from a fossil fuel economy, both for the peak oil reason and because of climate change and because of all the other issues related to oil itself. So our goal is to help work with the states to come up with solutions and pathways to make renewable energy more affordable, more efficient, easier to install. We're working on a big programmatic environmental impact statement to create both the transmission and the siting of renewable energy, which when you think about solar power in the United States, most of it is happening in the Pacific Southwest. So that is where we're spending our energy and time. It's difficult for us to comment on plans of the state as it relates to those trade-offs, but in terms of where we're going to spend our time and emphasis and help move the state along, we're certainly focusing on efficiencies. So how do you gain efficiencies so that you don't need as much fossil fuel? And then secondly, how do we transition to a fossil fuel-free economy in the future?
my final question.
Yes.
Of all your environmental accomplishments, and I want to acknowledge you for being such a trailblazer with environmental leadership, what are you most proud of, Jared?
I think I'm most proud of working with the people that I get to work with every day. To me, it isn't about any one individual action. We've done a lot of things that some people think are just symbolic, like banning plastic bags. But what they do is what you touched on, is it sparks the imagination of other people that join the environmental movement, whether they're in building management or whether it's a janitor or a bank owner, really spreading the message and getting people excited about what they can do in their communities and not giving up hope. Sometimes the national agenda moves very slowly, but we can achieve a huge amount every day in our lives, and it's rewarding. So to me, the things that I do that seem sometimes to other people like pandering to the environment are things that I love doing, like biking to work. To me, that's my favorite part of the day. I get to bike to work, and it may be good for the environment, but I really do it because it's fun. Thank you, Mo. I mean, you've been someone who's kept pushing the environmental envelope forward, and whether it's radio or TV or print, you're someone that keeps pushing to get environmental stories out there. And really, that's a big deal, because if you look across the United States, there are fewer and fewer environmental journalists that are tracking down stories and holding people accountable and highlighting the good things that happen. And so I really appreciate you and Planet Check, so thank you.
Thank you. We've been talking to the Regional Administrator for the Pacific Southwest for the Environmental Protection Agency, Jared Blumenfeld. Jared, thank you so much for your time and coming on Planet Check. And remember, whether you're red or blue, think green. I'm Moma Lady. That's Planet Check.